I have a crush on Beyonce. Seems like Beyonce has a superpower, so I'm going to show you how to find yours, but without wearing your undies on the outside of your clothes. How do you improve your confidence at home, at work, in your personal relationships? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can perform with confidence, like Beyonce. So keep watching. G'day, I'm Anna Cheney. I work as an actor in Sydney, and one of the jobs that I do is I work as an actor in corporate companies. So in this video, I want to show you some tips and techniques that I teach and that I encourage especially women to use in the workplace. And I also encourage them to take it home and use with their families and their relationships, because these are the types of tips and techniques that can help you in if you have a conversation coming up that's particularly intimidating, or you feel nervous about it, or maybe you need to go to an event where you don't feel confident, or maybe you need to have a conversation with someone that is playing on your mind a lot. So it's kind of like a magic trick, actually. One of the people who also uses this technique is Beyonce. So I'm going to give you a few ideas on how you can harness that power as well. Also at the end, I'm going to give you a link to my free quick guide to happiness, so keep watching. This is so super powerful, and I've used it before many times actually, especially for auditions and interviews and just in daily life as well. If you haven't seen one of my videos before, I am an actor, as I said. I also worked as a nurse for 10 years, and I also work as a yoga instructor. And I've sort of collated these different careers together to really help to empower women. That is my aim, especially women who struggle with anxiety, as I have over the years. So I'm a bit of a self-confessed nerd, and I love to study. I love to study people and learn, and I'm very curious and everything. And one of the people that I find absolutely fascinating is Beyonce. And she has what seems like a superpower. And if any of you have seen her live, you will know that she is just mesmerizing. Even if you just watch her on video, you can't take your eyes off her. She has such a magnetic power about her. I want to teach you how to find yours. You may not be famous, and you may not be a singer or a dancer, but you do perform. We all perform in various capacities. We perform when we go out with our friends. We perform when we have to go to a certain function or a work event that we don't really feel like going to. We put on particular clothes, and we put on the best version of ourselves. For example, if you're going to a job interview, you would no doubt have a shower that day and put on some clothes that you really liked, or the ones that presented you in the best way. And then you'd go into that interview and behave in a certain way. And then when you'd leave, you'd go, go home, take off the clothes that you were not so comfortable in and put on the clothes that you are comfortable in. So we all have these kind of costumes and personas that we play. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily being inauthentic. It just means that we have different aspects of our character. Something I notice, especially in the corporate sector, is that women seem to have challenges with their own confidence about raising issues that they feel are important, or issues that perhaps they might be around something that they want or need, or something that the company wants or needs, and they don't feel like they can assertively raise those issues. For example, you might have a colleague who is in a position of power, and you know that you need to speak to that person, but you're not quite sure how to approach it, and you spend a lot of time thinking about what you might say and how you might go about it, whether you'll email or talk or phone call or whatever it is. And that in itself can cause you a lot of anxiety. And it doesn't have to just be at work. You might have trouble talking to a family member or to your partner or someone that you respect and like, and you've got an issue that you think is really important and needs raising, and you don't quite know how to raise it. So this technique will help you with that as well. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel and give me the thumbs up if you're enjoying this video. Okay, so the secret to performing like Beyonce is to do what she has done and create an alter ego. An alter ego comes from Latin, and it basically means your other self. So it's like another version of yourself. We actually mostly already have them, So you might have the version of yourself when you pick up and make a professional phone call, or you might have a version of yourself that is on the dance floor when you go out with your mates. What Beyonce has done is she has used her imaginative powers to create this alter ego called Sasha Fierce, and that helps her to perform. Beyonce actually says that when she's in rehearsal, she can't do some of the things that Sasha Fierce does when she is out performing in public. It allows her to give her something more confident. Beyonce has created this character that is fearless. She says she can be quite reserved actually in ordinary day-to-day life, and that she meets people and they expect to meet Sasha Fierce, but it's Beyonce. So she has this ability to really transform herself on stage, and she's used her imagination to do that. And that is something that we all have. So keep watching. I'm going to give you the 4 steps to develop and use your alter ego so that you can use this technique in your life as well. An alter ego that will help you to behave in the way that you wish you could, but you don't feel like you have the confidence yet. But she is in there. You already have her, you just need to let her out. Step 1 is to think of somebody that you admire. So it might be someone you know, it might be someone who's famous, it might be someone who's not alive anymore. And think of who that person is. It's often the first person that pops into your head, and if you can, write it down. And you might like to set aside a little bit of time to allocate to this process. Then the second step is to think about the character of this person and at least three things that you really admire about this person. So for example, if you were to think of Beyonce, she is a strong, independent woman, knows what she wants, is able to be assertive and say what she wants. She has made a lot of money, she has a lot of power, she's successful in her relationships, and she presents in a kind and friendly nature. Also, she has lyrics that promote women being independent. Love that. Also, that women run the world. It's positive thinking at its best. Love it. Then the third step is to visualize yourself with these characteristics. So if you were to shut your eyes and imagine yourself as Beyonce, what would be the way that you would speak to your boss, your partner, your mum, your brother? If Beyonce was to go into your work meeting instead of you, how would she behave? Would she say what she wanted and feel good about saying that? And how would she ask for that? Even the way that she walks and the way that she talks, you can imagine somebody doing that and then do it yourself. How would your posture change, even if you're just where you're sitting right now? If you were to sit up straight and sit like Beyonce, or walk around the room like Beyonce. So imagine if you were able to magically transform into the body of Beyonce, what would you need to change inside of you to make people believe that you are her? Step 4 is just to practice. Practice walking around the house as that person, practice speaking as that person, practice how you would answer questions as that person, practice the self-confidence and the way that that person thinks of themselves when asked to say or do something. And it's just amazing what it does to your body, your physicality, the way that you speak. Just like any situation where you have something coming up that's important, you would prepare, you would rehearse. And so, for example, if you had a piano exam coming up, you would practice the piano. The brilliant thing about this though, with the alter ego, is that you probably practiced it so much when you were a child. So it's already there, you know, those times where you pretend you're Wonder Woman or Superman or whatever you did as a child. Your body remembers that, and you have got the muscle memory that allows you to just drop back into that. So that's why I was saying before that you don't necessarily need a long period of time to practice this. Obviously, it's going to get better if you do practice it, but you might find that you can just rip open your shirt and become that person immediately in your lounge room. It might take a little bit longer to do it in front of somebody else, but yeah, this is there. It's in you. It's ready to launch. So if someone was to say to you, "I'm sorry, but we're going to have to reduce your pay," how would Beyonce respond to that? Or the person that you really admire, how would that person respond to that? What if you wanted a pay rise? How would you go about that if you were Beyonce? It just makes it a little bit easier to, rather than think, how can I be more confident, to say, okay, this person's already got it. I'm going to take what she has and apply it to myself. If you can convince yourself, you can convince others. And it's just a matter of taking that time to prepare it and make it happen and practice it. And after a while, you might find that the two things merge and you become more confident and more like the attributes of that person that you really value. And this is not about changing who you are into somebody else. This is using what you already have to be more of what you were born to be. The first few times might feel like a performance, or it might feel a little bit strange. Remember, Beyonce doesn't perform every night of her life. She has these times set, when she's on tour dates or whatever, and they are the times that Sasha Fierce comes out. So you don't need to transform your whole life in one day and reconfigure yourself and create more confidence all in the space of an hour. This is something that develops over time, and of course if you keep practicing it and keep giving yourself the opportunity to use this alter ego, you will have the chance to really embrace that behavior and feel like it is actually a part of you. And I just found out this morning actually that someone's written a book on this, and I'll leave the link below if you're interested in reading about that. It's called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman. So you might want to check that out. So in summary, there is the first step is to find somebody that you really admire. Think of all their characteristics. Imagine yourself in that role and then practice, practice, practice. Let me know if you have tried this before or if you're interested in trying it and which person is the person that you would choose. If you would like to join me on my journey as I reach 1 million subscribers, please click that subscribe button. It is free. And also the like button, which helps the YouTube algorithm know that this is a good video so that other people can see it as well. If you'd like to download my free quick guide to happiness, it's got some really good tips on how to improve today. Also, there's the link for my mailing list if you'd like to join that. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for dropping by.